Will, sorry, recording is now in progress. Will Lukang is going to be my evaluator. Will, can you share with the team what the requirements of this project consist of?
Hello, everyone, and fellow Toastmaster. The speech that Bruce is going to be working on is part of the motivational strategy level 5, right? Is this your final project or second to the final project?
This is the first speech of 2.
Yep. Okay.
This is starting out the project.
So the title of his speech is Clarity and Fresh Start. His key focus for this particular speech is around making sure his vocal variety and pitch pacing is appropriate for the audience. He also want to make sure he maintains eye contact and hand gesture as he does his speech.
Thank you very much, Lou. I appreciate that, Will. At this point, I'm going to share my screen. Let's get that started here before we start the clock. All right, very good. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's get started with the presentation itself. All right, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, my name is Bruce Four, a fellow Toastmasters from MECA Global. As many of you know itself, that this is a brand new club. We charted back in March. And now at this point, we are getting started with building the club, developing our leaders, as well as our fellow club members. There's been a lot of different types of, my apologies here, where is that? 1 second, little technical challenge here. To restart that. Yes. Clarity and a fresh start. At the very top, I mentioned how this is a brand new year for our club, starting in July to June. 12 months for us to have the opportunity to gain the maximum amount of these experiences that we'll have each and every 2 weeks. Like the start of anything, it's always uncertain as to what direction we're going to go, how we're going to get there, what we need to take along the journey for us. And there's a lot of uncertainty. Who will be in that shared journey for us? At this point, we are now starting out. Our club leadership is considering a lot of variables. We're just getting familiar with one another. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Preparation is critical here. Someone once said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's a very critical component. It's one of the things that means, what skills do we currently have? Are they up to the challenge? If not, what do we need to do to get them to that level of proficiency so that we can use those skills, leverage them to move in a powerful way? One of the things that we are doing here at MECA Global is making sure that we understand where we are, what it is that we have, and how we're going to proceed ahead. And we will always share that vision, that clarity of purpose with each and every one of you, because you are a vital component, a vital part of all of this. One of the ways we do this is with the Club Success Plan. Our leaders have already introduced the Club Success Plan. We are currently in the process of reviewing it, looking at the various assets. One of the things that the Club Success Plan does is that it covers all of the vital areas of what is required to run a club, from the administrative, organizational, marketing, you name it. Our various leaders who are stepping into that fray as on board, defining and describing what will need to be done. The most important thing to keep in mind about the Club Success Plan is it is a living, breathing document that evolves as we get more information on the ground, as we see more in which directions, which paths that are going to move through. We will constantly be revisiting that document. So it is not a static document. It is a rapidly evolving document. And the most important way of doing that is not only do we describe what we need to do, but we also indicate what our objectives are going to be, and that is through the Distinguished Club program goals. It is a one-page document which will be added to as we gather more information from not only from our club leaders, but also from our club members as to what their objectives and goals are. So this is very exciting, having a game plan of what we're going to do. Now, for our club, we'll start off in a very wonderful state. The document you see in front of you happens to be the DCP report, sort of a report card. It tells us what we currently are starting out with, and what areas we'd like to move forward in. I don't have a lot of time to go into detail on this, but these are some of the tools that we will use to gauge our progress and our successes, our wins, as well as our, I won't call them losses, but what we learned from the process itself. So in order to do that, we need to have in place, well, this is something that touches on what I consider habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And what that means to me and as to others is that it doesn't matter how powerful your goals may be. Doesn't matter what kind of habits you have in place. If you don't have systems to support that, to leverage those, more than likely you're going to fail. More than likely you're going to miss something. You must create systems around everything that it is you're trying to do to support you when times are difficult, when there is information that's lacking. Systems will strengthen your resolve as well as provide the momentum to pull you through. Now, one of the things I recommend, one of the things we're looking at this point is how do we communicate with our members? How do we track and monitor their progress? How will members communicate with one another? How will our mentors interact with our club members? As well as how will our leaders be able to do their jobs? We need to do things in our toolkit, as I call it, which is a cloud-based platform that will automate the planning of our meetings, as well as track and support members' development, provide full data management systems, automating the agenda, which is important, enhance communication with members in the club, allow our members to record club roles and plan their projects within each path. Now, there's more to this, of course, and I don't have time, we don't have time in this 5 to 7 minute presentation to go in depth, but we will begin to see this unroll. And it is not an analog system. As I mentioned again, it is a cloud-based system. And that system, what I suggest we are now considering itself is called the Easy Speak platform. The Easy Speak platform is used in more than 4,000 clubs roughly throughout various sectors here. It is fully automated. It allows you to not only log on to the site and look at your agenda and your club activities, but allow you to engage in a way that makes it easy. It reduces the level of friction. And what I mean by friction is the amount of obstacles between you and the task at hand or the objective you're trying to reach. We need to minimize that as much as possible. I'm quickly going through a few of the key slides itself, but as you can see here, members have an opportunity to schedule their presentations, get confirmation by the club vice president or the club leadership, as well as the individuals who are leading the various meetings, the meeting managers to control and interact. So that gives us a lot of leverage. It is definitely a way of what I call a force multiplier. Members will be able to track all the projects that they're working on, as well as the club leadership. Not only the speeches that you are involved with, you will also be able to track the leadership roles that you are performing at each of the meetings. So this is a very comprehensive, well-developed cloud-based application. Now that leads us to, here again, pathways, which is some things that we're all moving through. You'll be able to track your pathways progress as well. That's another great feature of this platform itself. So the game plan is coordination with our leadership, our committees and club members, setting up the platform and configuring it within 2 meetings, as well as implementing it within the next 3 to 4 meetings. This is not ambitious. This is something we all are capable of doing as long as we are all willing to pitch in. Last but not least will be the training user interface that will be used to support our club officers, managers, and club members. As you can see, it is a very powerful starting point for us that we'll be able to build a powerful foundation upon and move forward. So here again, the best way to predict your future is to create it. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for your opportunity and time. I'll stop that share now. All right. We're moving on to the next phase in my role as the Toastmaster of today's meeting. I will now move on to our next, final, and third presenter today, and that is our very own Harry, who is presenting a level 1 research and presenting project. This is a 5 to 7 minute project in which the Toastmaster will share with us a project that indicates or shows basic research methods, and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. The title of Harry's speech is Our Shared Vision. Our Shared Vision, Toastmaster Harry Harris Subramanian. Come on up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bruce, Toastmaster of the Day, and my fellow Toastmaster friends. You do not rise to the level of your goal, but you fall to the level of your systems, by James Clear. A beautiful quote from our previous speaker, Toastmaster Bruce. One of the important tools that we have in our club is our vision. And I would like to share that vision with all of you. And in the next few weeks, I hope this vision gets accepted. What do you see in the screen? Let me share you a secret. Toastmasters is not useful for finance professional like us or executives like us. What? Toastmasters is not relevant for us in this world, in this setting. Why? Is it only useful for newcomers, juniors who wants to improve their public speaking skills? No. Let me tell you why. The moment you step away from your mirror and you talk to someone else, another human being, you are speaking in public. Any one-on-one conversation, any group conversation with others is definitely a public speaking. We all have fear of public speaking at certain levels. And it is an art to overcome your fear of public speaking. That is why we are here at Toastmasters, and everyone knows Toastmasters as a platform will help to improve public speaking skills. But what is so unique about our MECA Global Toastmasters? The members in this Toastmaster Club are finance or finance industry professionals. And what do? They do a variety of roles in their organization, and they are in different levels of organization, in different stages of their organization, and in their own career, right from in newcomer to a mid-level to a senior level professional in their organization. Are you not looking to become one of your C-suite executive? Why not? We all are here to progress in our career, and growth is progress. And keeping that in mind, as a finance professional looking to aspire into a C-suite, it is even more important that public speaking is mastered by you, by me, and by all of us. What do we do in our corporate world? We tell stories with the data or with the initiative that we are accountable for, that we are responsible for. It is also called as business storytelling. Do you know that? Business storytelling means you have to connect with others, everyone, everywhere. And you may have the opportunity, or you are given the opportunity in any meetings or in any conversation to turn a complex idea clear, or to implement a complex functionality in a simple manner. And sometimes, or most of the times, make the case for change and make the change benefit your organization. This goal requires we need to level up our presentation skills, our executive presentation skills. And hence, in MECA Global Toastmasters, our shared vision that I would like to present to the club and club members and club leaders are MECA Global Toastmasters is a high performance learning club for finance professionals to master the art of business storytelling and public speaking. Does that resonate with you? No, one more time. MECA Global Toastmasters has a shared vision for a high-performance learning club for finance professionals to master the art of business storytelling and public speaking. How are we going to implement the shared vision? Wait and watch as we get more more mentors and leaders who are implementing their cloud-based toolkits and officers putting together their time to understand the members, their goals and objectives, and work towards making each and every club member succeed in their goals. In the path of execution, we will evolve and we will succeed. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Harry, thank you very much for that very eloquent expression of the vision. I thought it was very powerful, and I agree certainly that we must level up in everything that we do. Each day is an opportunity for us to learn something new and an opportunity for us to continue to seek our best possible selves. That's a very powerful thought. Thank you once again, Harry.
Thank you.
We now move on to the next phase of our Toastmaster meeting here, the exciting part here, which everyone gets to have a chance to participate in, which is our table topics portion. And I'd like to hand this off to our table topics master today. Harry Harrow, come on up, please.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster. Before I deep dive into table topic, I would like to welcome all our members and guests who are joining for the first time and getting your meeting schedules accommodated to attend this meeting. Table topics is a segment where you can practice your thinking on the feet or impromptu skills, and you will speak for 2 minutes on a given quote. You will be timed for 1 minute as green, 1 minute 30 seconds as yellow, and 2 minutes as red by our timer, Toastmaster Kathleen. I'll be sharing a set of quotes, one quote for each speaker, and you will be asked to speak for it for 2 minutes. Make sure you pin the timer and you keep up the time. May I have some volunteers on today's topic, which is about habits and successful habits. Do we have a volunteer? All right. So let me pick up one of the club officer to share his thoughts on one of these quotes. May I welcome Yasser Imtiaz to the stage. Yasser?
Yes, Hari, can you see me or my camera? Hari, can you see?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to see. Yeah, I can see you. Yep.
Is my camera on, by the way? I cannot.
No, your virtual background is on.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's okay.
It should be now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So the quote for you, Yasser, is success is determined by your daily choices and habits. I repeat, success is determined by your daily choices and habits. By Rick Itino. Yasser?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Harry. Everyone, welcome. Good morning, good evening, depending on wherever you are. Success is determined by your daily choices and habits. A beautiful quote. In a daily life, you see many examples of this unfolding in front of you. In a few days ago, I just said, I also mentioned somewhere else, there is no right or wrong decisions. These are the choices that you make in your life, which determines the way forward for you. And this is very much true. Personally, I have experienced this and I have seen this around me. People, when they face daily challenges, works, habits in their professional life, in their personal life, you have to make certain decisions. You have to not only for yourself, but sometimes even for your family members, your kids, your spouses, your parents, and everywhere. And the success, it depends on how you make your choices in your life. It's not about if it's a right thing or wrong thing. in your professional career. So you follow your dream, you follow your passion, you follow your choices in life, and hopefully things will be difficult, but um, eventually you will get what you want to get. Path will be long. You will face many hurdles. You will face many challenges. You will face many ups and downs, difficulties. But be it, face it, with the grace, with the dignity, with the hard work, and hopefully you will get successful in your life, in your career, in whatever field you are, or in your even in your personal life. That's all from my side. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Yasser. Wonderful.
You.
Very loved your points on that particular quote. There will be 2 more quotes for today. May I request Sabine Ishtiak to step up to come on stage. Sabine. All right. May I request Busola? Thank you, Busola. 1 second. So, Sabine, thank you for coming back. Are you in a position to be able to answer a quote?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that Busola or Sabine? Busola, right?
Busala, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So Busola, first of all, thank you for volunteering. We know we had a technical challenge, but thank you once again for volunteering to come up on the table topic stage. The quote or a habit for success, out of the 8 habits for success, the 4th one is learn from people you admire. Learn from people you admire. Busola Begide.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so in relation to that quote, I would say it's important you have a mentor. So when you admire someone and you feel you can learn from the person, the person becomes your mentor. And the idea is for you to be able to learn from the mistakes of the person so that you don't make the same mistake in achieving success. You want to believe that this person has gone through, has walked the path that you're currently treading. So you want to get ideas, you want to learn from the person's experiences, which is your mentor, and you want to use it to improve yourself and again to accelerate your journey to achieving success. So I would say that yes, it's important to find that one person that you feel, it might be your career, it might be whatever goal you have set for yourself that you want to achieve, and you look forward to achieving success in that goal. Look for that one person that you know that has achieved the same goal, has achieved the success in that goal, and get close to the person, learn from the successes, learn from the failures, learn from the experiences of that person so that you don't make same mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Busola, for a wonderful speech on that topic. We have been calling upon our officers only so that the other new guests or members are able to warm up and they can understand the format of the table topic. Before I call upon another officer, would anyone else want to step in? Okay, so I'll tap on to one of our other officers, Sabine Ishtiak. Sorry,
Well, I did raise my hand.
Oh, sorry, Will. I didn't see. My apologies. Thank you for raising, Will. Well, motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going, by Jim Rohn. Let me repeat. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Well, Lucan.
I think it's a very powerful quote from Jim. I think one of the things that comes to mind is when you find the reason why you're doing something, you can get that motivation to get you started in your journey. However, for you to stay pat and strong in your journey, you need to keep on doing what you need to do on a daily basis. It is really, really important for you to develop that habit. And by keeping at it and doing it every day, if you tell yourself, for example, you have to read every day because you want to improve your ability to learn more things, by making sure you read every day, even it's 30 minutes every day, and do it for at least 7 or 8 weeks, that is when that habit becomes part of you. It's no longer something that you have to do outside of your comfort zone. It's something that becomes part of you. It becomes who you are. Like you do it every week, and you come up every day. You wake up, you think about what you're going to read, and you spend the 30 minutes. So when you develop that habit, that's the path for your success. That's what's going to keep you going. However, if you don't, you'll fall flat and fall flat on your face, and you hear the splat sound, right? Then that's the unfortunate part of not developing that habit. So it's really, really important for you to think about what you need to do on a daily basis and keep on doing the same thing until it becomes part of your habit. And once it becomes your habit, it's no longer something that you need motivation from. It's part of your sort of, in my humble little ways, part of your DNA. Like my habit of reading 30 minutes a day, it's really, really important to develop that. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Will. Thank you for sharing your wonderful inputs on this code. Someone said, if you give me 4 or 6 hours to do a task, I will use 4 hours to sharpen the axe. These table topic segment are a wonderful opportunity to not only sharpen your axe, but make the sound of splat for our club, which is on high performance, which is on shared vision, and which is on growing ourselves into a solid sound of action. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, TM Bruce.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, of our meeting today. Very well thought out questions that were answered really powerfully by our speakers today. And we will now move into the final phase of the meeting, which is the general evaluator phase. I would like to bring up our general evaluator, Will Lukang, who will now take over from the meeting. Will, please come up.
Hello, fellow Toastmaster. We're now in the most important segment where we give our speaker an evaluation of their speech. First, I want to invite Caitlin Diaz to give an evaluation of Kasif Hussein's speech. Caitlin?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I must start my timing now. Kasif, wonderful topic that you picked. I can tell it's something that you were very excited about. You gave wonderful information, concise information, and I enjoyed that you had a call to action, because it really makes the person at the end make sure, like, oh, wait, he's asking me to do something, and you make sure that they understand what it is that you want them to do. What I think you could work on is, at a certain point, you got very excited about the facts. Your pace had been going well, and then you spoke a little quickly where I missed some of the words. So I would say, as you're giving facts, slow down so that the person who's reading them can get some time to absorb them while you're doing it. And another thing is to maybe add a little animation so that you only show one fact at a time, so that they can really understand what you were trying to present. Let's see, I would challenge yourself to, I gave my challenge, which was to give the animation a little slower so that you can go over each fact. Sometimes you don't have to read what you put on there, so that way you're not doubling your effort, but I know that's kind of hard to do. And that is all for today. I'm sorry, I do not have my laptop, but I will get it and email you the evaluation. Okay, that's all my report.
Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. Next, I want to give an evaluation for our distinguished Toastmaster for the day, Bruce 4, on his speech. Bruce, on your speech, what I really like about it what you excel does is the storytelling and conversation format. It's one of the powerful ways of connecting with our audience. And I really like that you use a storytelling format to do that. I also like the way you use quote, right, to hook the audience in and grab their attention. One of your goal is to have good eye contact. You did achieve that. Congratulations on that. Pacing and vocal variety, that's one of your goal too, and you hit that nail on the head. Great job on that one too. And also your presentation material was really well made. We're in the transition and showing each of the section for the club success plan was really good. What I want you to work on is, one of your goal is to do hand gesture. And I think you did that, you tried. However, because of the technological challenge we had, your hand gesture was here at the bottom. So I could barely see your hand coming up and down, but I knew you did it, right? And I'm like, whoa, he did it again. He tried to do a hand gesture, but if I do it this, like it's so low, you can't really see it. Like you try to, maybe make it big, like like an Italian family where you speak with your hand. But really, I think I did see you raise your hand, but not really to the point where people could notice it. What I want to challenge yourself, I think you're a very good speaker. It's really hard to find something that I think would challenge yourself. But because we're in the technology age where we kind of stuck in front of our camera, challenge yourself in using your stage. Because you're sitting down, you kind of fix in one position. Try to see, is there an opportunity for me to use my stage, this entire space, versus I'm sitting on my chair. Thank you very much, Bruce. Great speech. Next, I want to invite Bruce Four to provide a evaluation for another distinguished speaker of ours, and Harry Hara Subramanian.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, for that warm introduction. My presenter today, Harry Harriman, gave a level 1, project number 3, research and presenting speech. And I want to say thank you very much, Harry, for stepping into that space and helping showcase what an effective research and presenting project consists of. It was well organized. It was also well structured and developed. You used a very comparative approach between different ideas and concepts, and you began to build upon that in a way where you got us interested in by providing good slides that contained a lot of detail that pointed towards what is a vision? Why is a vision relevant? What is the purpose of a vision, for example? And you got us interested by asking questions as to how do we see that as financial professionals? You tailored this project according to who you saw this audience to be. And that also is extremely helpful because typically speakers will present without regard to the audience, and that tends to cause people to sort of fade out. You kept us interested. You showed us why whenever you are using your voice, no matter what the context, where you are in a leadership role. We fail to recognize that. You also indicated by sharing with us that no matter how technical or how obscure a concept may be, storytelling is a way to allow a connection to your audience. So those are very powerful points that you raised throughout your narrative in this 5 to 7 minute presentation. Your vocal variety was good. Your pacing was effective. Your eye contact, we're going to work on that. Here again, this virtual medium is a challenge for all of us. I have a little sign right in front of my camera there that I now look towards, even though I may not be looking at you. It gives the illusion. And it also reminds me to look into the camera because, well, as you all know, this virtual medium is a challenge. However, in spite of that, once again, well-organized structure, very relevant. One of the things I would also like to see you do, Harry, here again, sort of piggybacking on what the prior evaluator mentioned, is that we need to start learning how to stand in front of the camera or positioning the camera in a way where we can see more body gesture, more animation to keep us interested in a topic that can be very detailed. I also like going to add on this is that you use some really well-placed quotes, and a vision shared is a vision that can be understood. When you're communicating to whoever your audience is, if we're not believing in the vision, it's hard for us to follow the goals or to stay motivated or on point. So once again, Harry, great job. Keep up the good work. I really do look forward to your next series of projects and presentations. And once again, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bruce. Back to you, Will.
Will, you're muted.
Okay, I unmute myself. Now we're going to go to our next segment for our timer report. I want to call our timer, Caitlin, to provide our timer report.
Thank you, Bruce. Oh, Will. I've gotten all the names. Mr. General Evaluator. Today we had 3 speeches, which were 5 to 7 minutes. Yasif was 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Bruce was 7 minutes and exactly 30 seconds, so just exactly right. And Harry was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Yasir on the table topics was 1 minute and 58 seconds. So Busola was 1 minute and 42 seconds. And Will was 1 minute and 48 seconds. And the time limit here on the table topics was 1 to 2 minutes. On the speech evaluations, you have 2 to 3 minutes for this. I was 1 minute and 45 seconds. Will, you were 2 minutes. And Bruce, you were 2 minutes and 50 seconds. That is my report. Back to you, Mr. Evaluator.
Thank you, Caitlin. Let's move on to the next segment. I'll be providing the ah and counter report. For the regular speech, Kasif has won. Bruce and Harry, as I expected, both excellent speaker. I found nothing. I spot nothing. For the table topic, Yasir had 3. Basola had 7. And then I couldn't evaluate myself, so I apologize. I couldn't do that. So that's the item counter report. And then let's move on to grammar report. Back to you, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you. I get called on a lot today. What's going on?
You're a star of the show.
Busy.
So in that, I only heard my splat. So maybe it went splat, the word, 2 times. Will and Harry did do it. I did want to say, correct. Someone said thinking on the feet, and it's thinking on your feet and determining your path. So just making sure you're using the right words in there. Besides that, everyone's grammars was exceptional. Keep up the wonderful work, everyone. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. Let's move on to the final evaluation, right, Harry? This is not the format we use in our club. I go
Yeah.
to the final, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I normally we don't do it this way. My bad. First of all, I would say that the club start on time. I think that's really, really important as a club to start on time, and on time. And that's really one of our key goals. And the second part I think that's really good is we have 3 powerful speakers that came up today. We're blessed with 2 seasoned speakers, Bruce and Harry, who gave us a really great speech. And we have Kasip, who actually did his speech, and I think it's a project, level 1 project too. So really, really appreciate you continuing your journey and pushing forward. Another great speech about enabling using digital enablement in accounting, which is really a very interesting topic. What I really like too is I think most of us stay on time. I think that's really, really important as a Toastmaster member. Being on time and finishing on time is really important. So great job to all the speakers for staying on time. And I really like that we keep the flow going when we have technological challenges. Our Toastmaster was really quick on his feet and make sure we adapt to the situation that was, if in front of us. We don't let us ruffle us and say, oh, now we're not going to be able to do this. We just quickly move on and assign someone else to get that job done. The ability to be able to adapt to change is what distinguishes what a Toastmaster club and members are all about. And last but not the least, I think what we could improve on, I think I can't find anything particularly we could improve on, but maybe using the word of the day could be something we could improve on, because we have many opportunities to use it and we only use a couple of times. So maybe in the future, let's think about using the word of the day. That's really good way of increasing our vocabulary and making us better in doing our speech in the future. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Will. Go ahead,
Well,
Toastmaster
thank you
Bruce.
very much. Sorry, Harry. Thank you very much, Will. And thank you everyone who participated today in a very powerful meeting. Once again, as we all participate, we learn by doing, we review the material, we put ourselves into it, and then we share what we've got out of the process. That's one of the powers of working through these projects and developing your skills. Level 1 to level 2 are the fundamentals, the foundation. So you need to move through those as powerfully and as swiftly as you can, because the real juicy, low-hanging fruit, as I call it, is about to come. I encourage each and every one of you to stay on path here. It is a real joy to have you on this team and as part of this vision that the MECA group is creating for us. At this point, I will turn it back over to our club president. Harry, back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster, for conducting this entire meeting on time and very well coordinated. I know you have a hot stop at 9:05. And quick reminders before we conclude the meeting. I would like to recognize all of our trio of club mentors, Kathleen, TM Bruce, and Will Lukang, for helping us grow every week, every day, regardless of being on a Saturday morning and taking their personal time for the success of us. You truly are a role model in your club mentor role. And we are learning from you on how to contribute, on how to step up to the leadership roles. And I want to thank and I want to recognize Will Lukang as Area 74 Director. And Kathleen, you are also an Area Director this year.
Yes.
Which area are you serving?
44.
44. Thank you very much. That's on the Division D.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yep. And I want to thank TM Bruce, who have been area directors multiple times. And he has given up that opportunity, at least on my request, and for the success of this club. So we are truly humbled. We thank you for your commitment and dedication for all the trio of the club. I do want to call upon Victor Lanyan. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, I do want to call upon Victor Lanyan. He is a very enthusiastic response in our chat group. So whenever we do post something, he actively responds, and we appreciate that response from our club members. That keeps us active. And I want to thank Busola not giving up or not leaving the meeting because of a technology challenge and staying there and showing the never give up spirit. And Victor, Busola, Martin, and Solomon, I believe they have done their icebreaker speeches. So now you're on a roll. You can do coming up level 1 project 2 speeches. And Soumya has volunteered to be one of our next speaker on July 17th. I would like to congratulations to all of you. And I thank all the club officers to show up in this meeting and show the commitment of leadership here. I want to remind that next week, before our regular 8 to 9 meeting, we have our club officers and club mentor meetup meeting. And that'll be with Kathleen, Will, and TM Bruce with our officers. So without further ado, I once again want to thank all of you for joining today's meeting. I request Toastmaster Will, Yasir, and Tasveer to stay on the call. And everyone have a wonderful weekend. And for those in US, wonderful long weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Hari.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
everyone. Thanks. Been a pleasure.
Thank you.
One-
Thank you.
Wonderful meeting.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you,
job,
Kathleen.
everyone.
Great
Thank
job.
you very much, Hari.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabine. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Sure. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Kathleen. Thanks, Busola.
Bye.
Thanks, Victor.
Oh, Harry, you said
Yeah.
the 17th we'll have the meeting before the meeting.
Correct. 1 hour before the meeting. 7 to 8 is a mentor meeting. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, have a good weekend.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank
Sure.
you, Kathleen.
Thank you. Bye. Busola, we are going to have a discussion with our mentor, Busola and Victor, Tasveer and Yasir. They are respectively donning the role of VPE and VPM. So they are going to have some questions with our mentor. Feel free to stay on the call if you want to learn something, or feel free to drop off. Thank you. Tasveer and Yasser, the stage is yours. Go ahead with this, Will.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, Will. We're here.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
How
you.
are you?
Very well.
Good. I'm doing
Yourself?
really well. Since your club has been together now for a couple of months,
Yeah.
what are the things that you think were working on your club, and what are the things that you felt are opportunity that we could work on to make it move in the right direction? Let's start with what's working well. I think that it's really great to celebrate success, right?
In my view, what is working well is it's basically one person leading it very well, thanks to Hari, president of the club. He is the one with the vision and with the motivation and with all this organization and leading all the officers, all of us. So I really want to thank you, Hari, for this. Now, what we feel like there is opportunity for us is officers are not really well trained. We have not much clarity on the way forward. Okay. Second challenge which we are facing is many are probably not most at least, but many of the members are not participating. Okay. I myself being VPE, I contacted 4 of the members. What are their plans? Whether how they are going forward? How can I help them? Unfortunately, none of them respond. Okay, and they are obviously not appearing in the meetings as well. Now, how to motivate those people? How to bring those people back? And moreover, being VPE, okay, what is my role? What should I do more? Okay, where should I go forward? Okay, that is something which I really looking for myself.
Okay. How about you, Yasir? What do you think from your perspective? What's working well, and what are the opportunities for us to improve upon?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Will. Um, what is working well? I think most of what Tasveer said, I will agree with that. But I think the overall, so far in the last 2-3 months, so far we are proceeding because of the, you guys, experienced guys coming in and running the show and everything. But I think in the, and excuse me, I'm a very blunt person, so please excuse me. That will not fly in the long run. That will not fly in the long run. People from the club has to step up, take up the challenges. It's not just the officers. Basically, I think somehow we are not being able to connect the audience in this club with the messaging or the purpose of this club. And in this technological age, where we are facing challenges, no doubt about that. But then there are other opportunities as well. We know very well what their email IDs are, who is on the LinkedIn, and professionally, we just connect through those mediums. I'm not a very big fan of, by the way, this other social media thing, the WhatsApp groups, and because people tend to, ignore, especially if it's related to their professional life. So I think LinkedIn probably would be the best media. How we can do this? A couple of ways I think we can do. We club officers, if we can resonate something which is going on these activities, clubs, okay, this activity is coming up, we are doing this, exciting, some buzzwords, it will create some kind of like maybe some interest. It's very important. Even if I just forget about, I'm a member of the club and an officer happens to be by accident, but if I were to connect with the club activities, I would definitely look at what my professional or personal goals are. Does this platform offers me the opportunity to do that? Everyone, I think we have about 28 members. dues are paid, it means the first step is already there. The will was there. That's why I take the money out of my pocket and put into this club, right? So that first thing is there. Now the second step is really, you are there, you're part of the membership, you have already paid, so why not you just come, join us? And there, I think it's becomes more responsibility for us. Even if we volunteer for the speeches and on this meeting, but that's not going to help. We have to step out of this 1 hour, especially through the LinkedIn circle, and reach out to these people. And I'm repeating myself, but just want to repeat one more time. Actually, there are a lot of groups now going on, and this Telegram is a new thing. Maybe a lot of members are not very active there. And we discussed about this a couple of days ago on our officers club. People are either active on WhatsApp, Facebook, or LinkedIn. So I think it's better. I don't know if it's a club policy that you can only go through the Telegram, but if it's not, then we should be active on WhatsApp, and we should use LinkedIn more rather than Facebook and that, because that's more like Facebook is, I think, is more like a friendship circle and non-official. I'm sorry if I spoke much, but I think this is what my feelings are.
No, I think you brought up a valid point, right? I think having just Harry run the session isn't sustainable. I think at some point the officers of the club have to come together and run the session themselves, and
Yeah.
or also organize what the club really want to achieve, right? I think that's really important. And both of you plays a very vital role. Uh, yes, here you're the membership, right?
Yeah.
You're the membership. So that's really important for you to stay connected with a member. You need to work with a VPPR, right? Your VPPR is who?
Ashif.
Ashif, I think.
So yeah, you need to work with a shift to make sure you come up with a plan how you communicate to your members and audience. I think getting them connected with you is important. One of the things that we did in our club is what we call open mic. It's a session where we set up a call where all the member comes in and they could ask any question they have, right? I think that's really important to have those sessions, because they'll get an opportunity to ask you any question that otherwise they'll be afraid to ask on a Toastmaster session that we have. And I think we have found benefit and value in those sessions because we also get their feedback. There's one session where we ask them what are the things we need to work on, what things we need to improve on, right? And then we send out a survey, and then after we send out the survey, we actually the officers did analyze the result. Harry did analyze the result, and we did a debrief. And based on that, we take action on a couple of things that we could actually do to make it better. So I think as a VP of membership, I think it's important for you to work with VPR to have those sessions with the members. This way, they have an opportunity to voice maybe they're concerned why they're not showing. Right? It's really a key to your success. The other one for BPE, that's where I think it's a very big job, in my opinion. I think it's one of the biggest hat that I've ever worn. It's like the burden of the club is on your shoulder, but also it's a great opportunity as a VP, as a VPE. I think you need to go out there and talk to people about the pathways. When I was a VPE and I was a VPE multiple times, I host session and talk about pathways. People need to understand what the pathways is all about. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll be more than happy to set up a session with you to walk the officer through the pathways program. Why the pathways program is important to you, and we should do that, right? I think we should spend some time in the next few weeks doing that, so all of you understand what the pathways session are all about, and understand like how you could share that with your members. Because at times telling the members that here are the eight path that you could take, or the 11 path rather that we have, it's daunting. It's like overwhelming, right? And how do you fit that in your daily life? It's one of the things that I focused on when I was the VPE, is how to explain to you how this work you're doing today, this additional stuff you're doing, is going to benefit in your career. And being able to tie that picture is really powerful from a VPE perspective. And from a BPE, you also need to make sure you do session with your members. You do a one-on-one with them. When I was a BPE, I know this is not part of the Toastmaster program, but I felt like I connected with the members. That's why, to me, that's why I said when you're a VPE, the burden's on your shoulder, because I took it as a personal responsibility to do one-on-one with all the members that we have. And at one point we have 30 members in our club. So imagine the time, the time it takes for me to actually connect with them. But you would realize over time, some members are motivated. They know what they want. They know what they do. They go on and do their speech. Some members, they're less motivated. So I focus on them, right? So you see, so you need to, I don't know your style or things like that, but I think set up one-on-one with each of the member and give them an opportunity to say, you paid for this Toastmaster membership. What do you want to get out of it? How can I help you? Right? I always point it back to the customer. You paid for A. What do you want to get out of A? Right? It's important for me to understand that, because when I know that, then I will be able to help you better, improve your personal speaking, improve your public speaking, improve your executive presentation. I think understanding their personal goal is really, really important. And therefore, that's why I say it's more of a big role for you. But you could spread it out with a couple of people. Yashia could help you. If you both decide that you're gonna split your membership, if you have 15 membership, each one of you, to one talk to 7, one talk to 8, right? As a starting point, and get that going. You at least touch base with them once every quarter, in my opinion. And you did get to understand what they need to work on. And what I do is I do follow up. I'll ask them about what they want to do over the next 6 months, right? 6 months. It's a big time block. I said, what do you want to do? How many presentations do you want to do? And then I stay in touch with them and I tell them, okay, you're supposed to rehearse because your presentation is coming. Can you do a rehearsal with me? 5 minutes. It's an 8-minute call, right? And I give them an opportunity to rehearse their speech. I'll give them a feedback that enable you to practice as an evaluator, right? So I'm actually hitting two birds with one stone. I'm practicing my ability to be a better evaluator because I'm also helping them to do their speech. I give them the dry run, what I call dry run, a practice opportunity. And sometimes we could do 2 or 3 of those before they actually, what I call, get on stage, right? On the virtual stage. And that gives them the strength and they give them the perspective like, I'm getting a lot out of this program and I'm staying connected. The one other thing I think would probably help if you have a couple of motivated people to assign mentors to other people. I know it's hard for you to be the person like Taswar. I know it's going to be hard if you have 15 members and I'm going to say, Taswar, set up a call with all 15 members. But if you assign a mentor for each of the member, those mentor will be the one reaching out to the members. You then divide and conquer the work. You divide the work that you have. Instead of you with 15, now you with 5, right? That makes that job a little bit smaller.
Will, just one quick comment. Actually, Hari simplified this for us. He helped us. Last week, what we did, we divided members amongst officers. So that those members will be working as because VPE role is very big and obviously we cannot deal all of them. So I think this is the list which Hari is probably sharing. I don't know who has shared this screen now. Yeah. So it is already like 3 to 4 members for each club officer, and that is why the 4 persons which were assigned to me, I tried to approach them. And though I tried only on email, maybe I have to try on WhatsApp or probably some other mediums. But this is where we are standing now. Hari took this initiative, and I thank you to him because myself contacting all 28 members was almost impossible. But I think things are not moving forward, which is our concern now. Yeah,
so let me add a point here. Will, I took your inputs and some of the best practices from our UBS club. I took it, and you can see one of the challenge here is the members of this club is across different countries, right? They're not in the same time zone or in US, and that's add to the challenge. But nevertheless, what we did in our officers meeting last week is we identified the officers in their locations, respective locations. So Kashif is in Ireland, and Tasveer, Sabine, and Mustafa, they are in Canada, and Yasser and myself are in US. So we allocated few few members on the Kenya, Ethiopia kind of location with Kashif, who is already based in Ireland, so time zone kind of overlaps, and others in UK between me and Tasveer, and with US and Canada between Yasser, Mustafa, and Sabine. So that way we made sure that nobody has overwhelming mentees. So there are 3 to 4. So I think we have the structure in place, and contrast to experience what Tasveer had, who reached out by email. I not only reached out by email, I also WhatsApp them individually. And out of the 4, I call them by phone. I talk to them. So Gerald and Soumya said they are going to do an icebreaker speech next week on July 17th. So I think we are on the right track. We need to engage them in any means and every means to get them until the momentum is in place. So by phone or by WhatsApp or together or combination of all these things. Back to you.
Okay, thank you.
And I think one of the things we have to acknowledge is at some point we probably would lose some of the members, right? That's a reality we have to embrace. And we should not think of that as a failure for us or a mistake for us. That's part of the journey. That there are certain people that they started something, but they don't have the determination to finish it. We want to give them that motivation to find that reason to get through the program and accomplish their goal. But one of the key things is we need to also recognize that we might lose a couple of them. And that is really what we need to focus on. When you're trying to engage them and you're not getting a lot of response, for the one that you're having response, make sure you spend time with them. Those are your target audience, because invariably you're going to lose some, right? This is like anything else we do in life, that certain people are more motivated than other. So if you already have people that are engaged, stay connected with them. But the people that are not engaging, continue to reach out to them and ask them, like, you pay for this membership. I want you to get the most out of that membership, right? You paid for it. It's your money. I want you to help you achieve your goal. Tell me your 3 goals. And I actually have a spreadsheet that I capture as a VPE. I capture my what I call VPE interaction. Every member that I had a meeting, I captured their goals. So when I meet them again, I said, and I emailed them, here are 3 goals that you would talk about. How are you doing with those 3 goals? So I keep on hooking them back to their goals. This way I could get them to come back and have a conversation. But there are members that are in my experience, even I've been doing this for a while, there are members that are telling me, like, back off. I don't want you to interact with me. I'm okay by myself, and that's fine. And I think that's perfectly fine. But for the ones that are engaging with you, stay connected with them.
Yeah, and I think one of the best practices we had in UBS Club, Will, is that the VPM takes care of the attendance sheet, right? So he takes care of the attendance who attended the meeting, and then during the weekly officer meeting. So we have officer meeting in UBS Club every single week without fail on a Wednesday afternoon for 30 minutes. And in that meeting, our VPM comes back and says, who has not been attending consistently in the last 3 months, right? Who had done the speech almost 4 meetings or 5 meetings before, and they are due for another speech. So there's a constant monitoring of members' engagement level, and VPM takes care of it. And VPE focuses on, okay, are you doing your pathway track? Have you selected your pathway? Have you identified your pathway? Are you on a pathway track? In the next 6 months, as Will said, when are you planning to do your speech 2 and speech 3? That's it. So go take 3 months at a time or 6 months at a time. You focus on the pathway progress, and VPM focuses on the attendance and engagement level. And then kind of the other officers, one of them assists you. So let's say Sabine as a secretary assists VPM for the 30 members because we are across the globe. So you take one assistant officer, and Tasveer, you take one assistant officer, like Mustafa in Canada. Run with it as a pair, right? You don't have to run single-handedly. Go with a pair. And then myself and Kashif, we will do the marketing part, the engagement part. We will take up that. So I think together as a team, close-knit team, we can make it happen.
Yeah. I agree. I think, Hari, probably even last week, I requested that maybe we need to have officers meeting every week, okay? At least at the start, so that we get momentum going. And then after that, even if it is bi-weekly or monthly, still it will work.
Correct. So I didn't want to overburden on this long weekend. I know that this meeting is there.
Yeah.
So we are having this. And I know next week we have July 17th, 1 hour of officer meeting with mentor. So that is in place. And then we will schedule 2 more meetings in July.
Okay.
Victor, I know you have been here. Would you like to add any comment on the pulse of the club? You're on mute. Would you like to say any pulse of your club? How do you see the club is from your eyes?
Well, from my own perspective, thank you, Harry. From my perspective, we need to have more engagement of members, because I see that the numbers are dropping week. So, and like Will said, that they've paid for something, they need to get value from it. So we need to emphasize that value that they need to derive from being members of the MECA International Toastmaster Group.
Yeah. So thank you, Victor. Back to you, Will.
So I would suggest have a one-on-one with the member, and when you reach out to them, tell them you sign up for Toastmaster, MECA Global Toastmaster. You paid for it. You obviously have a goal. What's your goal? So how can I help you achieve your goal? Part of your message is that envelope that says you paid for a membership. What's your goal? How can I help you? Or how can we help you? Right?
Yeah.
And then let them come back and say, hey, I paid for this. I should get something out of this.
Yeah.
Right? And to me, that's really important. And if you can capture all their goals, every discussion you have thereafter with them is about that.
Yeah.
And if they may achieve a goal, I always praise them.
Yeah.
By the way, you have 4 goals. After doing 2 levels, you accomplished 2 of them. Great job. So it becomes a more purposeful discussion. I know it's a lot of work for the officers, but it also gives people the meaning of being connected. And I think the more engagement we have up front, the better the relationship would be later on.
Yeah.
And I think also you have to think about chemistry. And the reason why I say that is some people work well with one person, but not the other. Not because we're not good person, but just the chemistry. And I noticed that certain people work well with Harry. So I would say, okay, from mentoring, even though we might not be in the same time, so maybe I'll give it to Harry because the person react well with Harry versus I am, right? And that's the reality that we have to face, because it's about group dynamics. So always look for that. There's certain people that work well with one person, not the other. So even though I could be the mentor, I'm not going to be the mentor because I'm not going to be able to motivate you like the other person would. For example, Yasir happened to have an instant connection with another members, right? For example, let's say is Kasif, right? And all of a sudden you and Kasif always stay connected. You're in the same industry. You have a common theme and topic you talk about. You could be Kasif mentor because you and Kasif has a common thing in the same industry. Well, the SWAR might be assigned to do that, but there's nothing in common with them. So instead of trying to force a common conversation, let the natural course of action takes its place and say, what are the common things between me and my audience? And therefore, I have a common topic to talk about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. And I really like the idea of giving pathway training because I'm sure that most of the members, they don't have any clarity on pathways, and it is certainly overwhelming. I was rather approached by one member regarding on question about pathways. So when would you be available if we do maybe a training on pathways to the whole group?
Tell me when we want to do it.
We could leverage the July 17th 1 hour slot, right? We will do 30 minutes pathways so that all officers gear up on pathways. And remaining 30 minutes is one-on-one with your mentor, with one of the club mentor. So I will do a breakout room and I'll assign 2 officers to one club mentor and 2 officers to another club mentor. So that's your 30-minute one-on-one like this. But another 30 minutes is bring everyone up to the speed on pathways so that we all learn together.
Okay, but should we do a pathway training for the whole club as well, in all the members?
Yes, We should.
We should. And I think we will first do with
The
officers.
officer.
Okay.
Right. So you and I become more knowledgeable, and then we will subsequently do another pathway training.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's important that all of the officer
Yeah.
sort of have a good knowledge of the pathway program.
Yeah.
Because if your member approach you and you're unable to answer, it's okay to be unable to answer. But if their questions seem to be basic to them and we're unable to answer, it kind of like give them a bad impression that we're not familiar with it. So I think really the sense of competence is quite important especially in a volunteer platform, right? If we work for a company and you happen to be my boss, I have to really follow what you're saying and do what you want me to do because you have a departmental goals. But if we're doing volunteer, I could do whatever I want because I don't need to be aligned to what you're doing. But if I know you're an expert in X, and whenever I go to you, you have most of my answer, that would also help the club. What happened to Tasmar?
Yeah, I think he lost connection. So thank you, Will. Yes, sir. Just 2 days back, I did a presentation to UBS where we have our internal communication network called Connections, and we do our club activities and updates. But I also found that we have an internal UBS LinkedIn group for Toastmasters alone. So if you are passionate about having a LinkedIn group for MECA Global Toastmasters, go for it. Take the lead, create the group, work with Kashif so that both of you can do a PR messaging out of it. Because I think all the professionals are hooked to LinkedIn, Dan hooked to Telegram. So go for it. Go create the LinkedIn group for our club and then and engage the members. So that's part of your VPM membership engagement as well.
Yeah.
So how can we help you this year? You mentioned about the challenges that you encountered, right? I think member engagement. What is it that we could do to help you move things along?
No, I think just need to do it now. Thank you very much for all your suggestions. Just need to now
execute it.
Yeah, execute.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll continue our discussion. I'm very cognizant of the time. Will, I know you spent a valuable 30 minutes of your time with us, so I don't want to take run the time. We will continue our officer discussion in next week. And between now and next week, I would follow up with Yasser and Kashif and Tasveer. Yasser, between now and next week, if you can create the group, and then we'll send the message out to get people added, but create the LinkedIn group.
Sure.
And over this weekend, send the invitation on to the 32 members in our email trail where we sent agenda. Send a separate email to all those 32 members that the LinkedIn group has been created, and join and send the invitation link to them, right? And
sure.
That is one message. And then reach out to your mentor by phone or by WhatsApp for those 3 to 4 assigned to you, and have a one-on-one connect with them. So if I think, and then let get the feedback of that experience back into the next week meeting and see how we can adapt or evolve it.
Sure, definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much.
And I
Thank you
think,
very
Victor, you're here, right? Obviously, you're interested in the club and the progress. Even though you're not an officer, you could volunteer and shadow someone, right?
Yeah, definitely.
If you're interested, that's one of the things we did in our club is you're not an officer this Toastmaster year, but obviously you stayed put and you listened to us. You're interested in something. If you're interested in one of the roles someday, you could practice and shadow another person. If you're interested, shadow Yashir, work with Yashir for the next 11 months, right? And learn that role. And you could be the next VPM, right? And I think if not, that's where, and then learn that. I think it's important to have that continuity of practice, which is what we started last year. We have someone shadow us for our role. This way they don't jump into the role and feel like the role is so big and overwhelming. I have someone who shadowed me as a VPE for a year. And there's another person who's helping. So there's 2 people shadowing. So you have more and more people who understand that role.
And, always we call it as mentor or guru sees the potential in others. So exactly, you spotted out, Will. So thank you. And Victor, you have a very good platform to do it, because you know what? We have 9 members in Kenya, Nairobi, Ethiopia, Cameroon region. And we have only one club officer today as Kashif, who's based in Ireland. But you, being in your region, can be a champion to connect with all the other members in that region. So why don't you handshake with Kashif? I will connect you with Kashif. And then both of you can divide and conquer the mentor-mentees and take the relationship to the next level.
And if there's
that's fine. That's fine with me.
And if there's anything that you need help on, like we're gonna have a meeting next week, right? Is it next week? In 2 weeks?
Yeah, next 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Send all the information you have in advance, right? Whatever chat, whatever means that's work best for you. This way we could research. If we don't have the answer, and obviously I don't have all the answer, I could at least research from other club what they're doing, so I could give you the information. I don't want to jump into the call and say I actually get back to you. That's an awful waste of your time, right? So I personally always want to be prepared for every session I'm in. So therefore, if you have any question, things like that, send it to all of us. We could start doing some research over the next few days a week. This way we could come in prepared to serve you and your team and not waste your time by saying, oh, I'll get back to you. That's just not a good way to do it. I personally thought that helping people, not just being there for them, but doing something for them.
Thank you very much, Will. So given that we are exceeding time, I would like to summarize the takeaways from this call. So we had a very constructive discussion, very wonderful discussion with Will today, with the officers on this call here. Our takeaways are: 1, VPE will reach out to his mentees first and track their goals and challenges in attending the meeting and record it. Same goes to the other mentors who are assigned, who are the club officers. They connect with their mentees and capture their goals in the next 1 week. And by the next Saturday, if we can collect those inputs together and share it with the club mentors ahead of it, they have another 4 to 5 days to process that information and come back to the July 17th meeting for a much more valuable discussion. So as officers, we will do that takeaway. We will connect with our mentees. And Victor, I will connect you with Kashif to work with the members in your regional locations, and you can get assigned with a couple of more mentees so that you and Kashif can together work on it, and that will help you to become a future club officer.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Victor.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a happy 4th of July.
Thank you for your
Thank
dedication, by the way. Thank you for all your dedication and commitment. I know it's really hard, but thank you very much for doing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, yes, Will, Victor. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.